Hello, company xDuoo is pretty well known on the portable audio market. They made two really successful players, small X2 and bigger X3. Both of them offered really good sound quality for reasonable money. Not so far ago they released X10, their flagship model with modern schematics. It cost about $175, but you can get it often with some discounts, because on AliExpress there are often some sales, some discounts. You can apply some coupons so you can lower this price. This player uses very modern schematics. It is popular AK4490 digital to analog converter, uses op amp, and it is a real step forward for the xDuoo. So let's look at this player and see what they've changed, how it stands against other modern players. Box is pretty simple but nice. It is small, stylish, with features described on the back panel. Inside there is a second box made of thick black cardboard, but I've already pulled everything out. So we will have player itself and white box with accessories set. xDuoo decided to put as much accessories as possible for this player, so we will have everything besides the case. So simple user manual, two screen protectors, actually one screen protector already applied from the factory, warranty card, I will put this aside, 3.5mm connector to connect this player to some amplifier or other stuff, coaxial cable to connect to digital to analog converter, some external, and USB cable for charging to access the data, and so on. So actually this player can be used as one of the most affordable digital transport, and not only digital, because it have line out and optical output pretty good. So as you can see, accessory set is nice. I'd prefer to have bundled some case, but it's sold separately. Design is a huge step forward for xDuoo. As you can see, probably player looks pretty modern. It's not looking strange. It not looks simple like X2, and it doesn't look strange and archaic like X3. So case is made of mostly of metal with pretty interesting shape, and it is small. It fits into hand nicely, and it is on the smaller side. Not the smallest dub, but pretty good. So on this side there is a lock switch. It's pretty useful to protect from accidental presses. On-off button and a micro USB slot. It's pretty unusual to have it on top. Volume buttons, reset hole, and two micro SD slots. It is a pretty good feature for this price range. I think it is the most affordable player with dual SD cards. It supports up to 256 gigabytes, as I remember. I'm not sure, but I think it supports, because all modern players does support this volume. So you can have all your media library with you. There is line and optical output, phone output, and the gain switch. You can select one of two gains, +3 and +9 decibels. On the front panel there are 4 buttons, 2 for navigation, 1 for back, and 1 for showing additional menu on play screen. Clicking wheel and middle button also. So as you can see, the wheel is pretty nice. It has good click, and it's pretty well done for this price range. There is no issues with clicks. It has well-defined clicking, and it's easy to navigate. So I'm not sure how it will stand up about a year of usage, or even more. Will it be as reliable as now? But I suppose it will be good. So let's turn it on. Pressing button, you can hear the click of protective relay. Few seconds and player boot up. It can resume last song, but it doesn't remember last played position. Actually, screen is pretty nice. It's not the best screen, it is not the highest resolution, it's 2-inch screen, but it's pretty nice. For this price range it's pretty good, and it is bright enough to see everything on the bright sun. So menu-wise player is pretty good. Oh, sorry, screen-wise. Menu is fairly simple. it is very common for the digital players. It's not complicated, controls are pretty simple. Actually, it's good that you have separate volume buttons. There is no issues like with iHi-Fi 990, for example. There is 6 chapters in the menu. So my music you can return to playing now. You can see all songs by albums, by artist, and separately see your cue sheets. It's return to now playing screen, browse by folders. Actually everything is expected. Favorites, music settings, not much them. It's play mode, volume settings, shouldn't remember volume on the boot, DSD gain, dark filter, only 2 settings here, despite AK9940 have 5 filters. And should it jump to next folder when this one is over. Also there are system settings, language selection, there are a lot of languages it supports, update media library, automatic media library update, brightness selection, power management, it's different, sleep timer, idle timer and so on, format SD cards, factory resets, firmware update and system information, it's pretty much the same. As you can see, it's lacking some features like USB dock mode, for example. I'm not sure will it be added, but I don't know. It's lacking gapeless playback and so on. But anyway, it's pretty reliable player. It understands vast majority of formats. It understands the Cyrillic and other national alphabets. There is almost no issues. As you can see, playback screen is pretty logical and reliable. You can select this button, it's the only place where it can be used. And here there is a sub-menu with useful options. So as you can see, player is pretty well controlled, pretty good. There are some flaws, like for example when you rotate this wheel there is only track selection, but anyway it's a step forward in terms of control and in terms of usability for the Chinese players, and especially for the xDuoo itself. Sonically it is, this player has pretty unusual sound. It's not what you expect from typical AK4490 dub. xDuoo created pretty unusual representation without strong accents, with good defined lower frequencies, with small accent on the mid bass, with clear mids and recessed treble. So it is player for those who like natural representation without accent on without treble, with softened treble. So bass is a bit accented. It has a small accent on the mid of the lower frequencies. It is not the fastest, but pretty okay. So it's a bit softer than can be, but for this price range I think it is normal. Bass has good textures, pretty normal resolution, so it's nice. Mids are emotional, a bit smooth too, without extra sharpness, without extra resolution. It's more on softer side, and treble is rolled off. So it is a player for those who are afraid of treble, and it's not harsh, it's not fatiguing, doesn't have any accents. So personally I prefer more treble. But anyway, it's pretty good and musical sounding. So if we compare this player, for example, with xDuoo X3, X3 is a bit rougher. It has more treble and it has more accent on the upper frequencies. It sounds a bit more balanced, but it has not so good resolution on the mids. Bass is less controlled, so actually this player is a step forward besides the treble. Another competitor of this model, it is FiiO X3 second generation. X3 second generation is more natural sounding, so it's also a bit step forward compared with this one, but really tiny bit. And xDuoo FiiO has more treble, so it can sound more fatiguing. So to summarize, it is a nice player for those who like just a bit softened representation without accent on the treble, who don't like bright harsh sound, and for those who need 2 SD cards and who need good amplification. It has 240 milliwatts for 32 ohms load, and it is a pretty good amplifier. This player isn't the best software wise, it lacks some features, but software is pretty reliable and user experience is pretty good for this price range. So very interesting player that I really recommend you to listen if you have an opportunity. Thank you for attention.